Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm DarkJack, and I'm making this video to confirm that you can buy all the spells from Wellager in New Game Plus Plus, or the third playthrough rather than the fourth playthrough. And the reason why I'm making this is because the strategy guide for Dark Souls 2 has contradictory information in it. In the NPC section, it says that you have to be on your fourth playthrough, and you have to have beaten the game for Wellager to sell the spells that you normally have to get through Covenants and PvP. But that's not the case, because in the section of the strategy guide on the spells, it says you only have to be there in New Game Plus Plus, or the third playthrough. And the section on the spells is correct. You only have to be in the third playthrough. In this video, I've not yet beaten the third playthrough, but he already sells me the spells. And you cannot get to this point through Bonfire ascetics. Those do not work. I tried using Bonfire ascetics on my first playthrough, and he didn't sell them to me. You have to actually be on New Game Plus Plus, or the third playthrough, in order for him to sell them. Bonfire ascetics don't have any effect on it at all. Also, I want to share with you guys some tips I've learned after getting the Platinum Trophy. When you play Dark Souls 2, do not, I repeat, do not kill any NPCs or kill players as a Red Phantom, unless you're dueling, because Cromwell the Pardoner cannot forgive you of that. The only way to find forgiveness for killing NPCs or enemy players as a Red Phantom is by being killed by Blue Sentinels. And also, the sins that you commit by killing NPCs and enemy players does carry over to New Game Plus. So unlike the first Dark Souls game, where your sins were forgiven, in Dark Souls 2, in New Game Plus, all of your sins carry over. And the only way to find forgiveness of those sins is to be killed by Blue Sentinels. So if you do that, and you kill all the NPCs at the end, like in Dark Souls, you're going to be invaded like crazy by Blue Sentinels. And that happened to me, so don't let that happen to you, and do not kill the NPCs, whatever you do. Because murder in this game can only be atoned for by getting killed by Blue Sentinels. So that's why I'm playing offline in my third playthrough, because I got sick of being invaded by Blue Phantoms. And also, the Bonfire ascetics you use do carry over to New Game Plus. So if you make an area New Game Plus in your first playthrough, when you go to your second playthrough, that area is going to be New Game Plus 2, or New Game Plus Plus, and so on and so forth. Now, the most difficult boss fight in New Game Plus is the Lost Sinner, because when he gets to around half health, 2 Red Phantoms are going to enter the map that are very powerful and use powerful pyromancies. So when you play the Lost Sinner in New Game Plus, you want to bring help. You want to summon helpful Phantoms, and you want them to tank for you while you take the Phantoms out once they enter in. You cannot ignore the Red Phantoms. You have to focus on them rather than the Lost Sinner boss. And for getting the Platinum Trophy, the 2 most difficult achievements were getting the equipment of Benhart and Lucatiel. Now, to do that, if you fail, in order to get their equipment, you have to summon them for 3 out of the 4 bosses that they help you out with, and they have to survive. But if you fail 3 out of 4, you can use Bonfire ascetics, and you can do it again. And I've also read that you can do the same boss 3 times. So for Lucatiel, for example, you could do the Flexile Sentry boss in No Man's Wharf with Bonfire ascetics 2 times and get the achievement that way. Also, in Aldia's Keep, do not free Navlaan. If you free him, you can't get all the spells, and you have to wait till New Game Plus. And Bonfire ascetics don't help you out there either. So do not free Navlaan, and speak to him while you're in Hollow in order to do the assassinations. And out of all the builds I've tried, the Faith build is the best. Faith is definitely overpowered. And after you beat the game, Ornifex will sell you infinite herbs after you beat the game, so you can constantly restock your spells. And the Way of the Blue Covenant seems pretty worthless to me, because most of the time I was in the Way of the Blue, and out of all the times I was invaded, only 1 time was a Blue Phantom summoned to my help. And the ring that I'm wearing is called the Gores Ring in this video, and that prevents all backstab damage to you in New Game Plus, and you find that in the Shaded Woods. Also, I found out in this game that you can be summoned by the Looking Glass Knight, and to do that, what you do is you put a red sign soapstone on the ground near the boss door once every 10 seconds. And if you do that, he can summon you. And if you really want to be annoying, what you can do is when the Looking Glass Knight summons you, you can use the Warmth Pyromancy, and that will heal the Looking Glass Knight, and that's really annoying to deal with. And who you are matched up with in PvP is based on the total number of souls that you've collected, not what rank you are or what level you are. So spend your souls on leveling up, and don't waste them. So unlike Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2 PvP is based on your total number of souls earned. So out of all the trophies or achievements, the most difficult ones are the Lucatiel and Benhart. And so my advice for that is just to wait to do those boss fights until you're really overleveled. So that way you don't have to worry about them dying in the fight. Or you can use Bonfire ascetics in No Man's Wharf. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you later.